What's up, everybody? This is Chris, aka Hellgated, and there was a big announcement today from AMD, and that was regarding Zen. So this is pretty huge from AMD. They finally released, well, not really released, but they debuted their enthusiast class Zen platform, and they tentatively have called it, well, not tentatively, I guess it's official, RyZen. The speculation at first was it would be RyZen or something like that. At least that's what the news sites were reporting. However, you know, it went with RyZen, which makes sense. They debuted at the New Horizon event. New Horizon, RyZen. Get it? Anyways, so they put it up against a 6900K because they were comparing 8-core for 8-core. What I wasn't expecting was that they were going to leave the 6900K alone. They didn't take away cores. They didn't do anything funny with it, for at least for the main benchmarks with Blender and Handbrake. And I was really surprised. I already knew that it was going to keep up pretty well with Broadwell E from the fall benchmark that they did, but that was at 3 gigahertz. Now they're running it at 3.4. There is a boost thing. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but they did not run it at boost. They ran it at 3.4 gigahertz locked. Boost, they'll be releasing official boost numbers closer to launch. And in the Blender test, they actually pretty much, they were on par with the 6900K. And this is a stock out of the box 6900K, like I said, no adjustments or anything like that. The Handbrake test, it actually beat the 6900K. Not by a whole lot, but it still beat it. So I was pretty impressed with that, especially given the fact that I was expecting more along Haswell IPC gains or Haswell performance overall, not Broadwell performance. I mean, I knew from before that it was going to compete with Broadwell pretty good, but now it's running a completely unadjusted version of running against an unadjusted Broadwell processor, and it did great. In the gaming tests, we had a little tease there, and I'll get into that in a second, but the gaming test, it did great as well. I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge from the stream how things were going on it, but it was running great games, great. And they put it against the 6900K again with the Titan XP, and it looked like it was running it a little better, maybe about the same. You know, your eyes might perceive things differently, but it's up there. It's definitely up there. Then they actually showed it with the Star Wars Battlefront Rogue One DLC, which that was a tease all by itself, but they debuted it with the Vega card. They didn't really get into the specifics about the Vega. My intuition is telling me that this was the RX 490, but it may not have been. It may be just like their Instinct platform Vega card, whatever. Vega, that's the big news right there. So they're running this game at 60 frames per second. Well, it looked like it could be about 60, maybe higher than 60 at 4K. I thought they were going to cheat a little bit and run it on Vulkan, on Doom with DX12, or rather, actually just Vulkan. But they didn't. That leak came out, and I think AMD had to adjust what they were going to do for the event because of that leak in the past, and it beat a 1080 in that test. So in this one, obviously there's no comparison to a 1080, but it ran it great and it looked great. Obviously we can't tell at what graphics settings they're running these things at, but either way it was running them great, and I wouldn't be worried about it with one of these. They're going to really shake up the processor market when they come out, especially for this one. This one is rumored to cost around $500. May or may not be in that price range, but that's still a lot less than the $1,000 Broadwell E 6900K. And for productivity, gaming, it can do all of it. And it's got a lot of interesting features. So onto the GPU boost, not GPU boost, but rather the CPU boost stuff, it seems to me that this is going to work more like the GPU boost that NVIDIA has, and also that Polaris has it. But it basically has sensors in the processor that they're calling their Infinity Net, I think it was. And it has all these sensors that are going to basically tell where the processor is as far as thermal envelope, and give it more juice or more frequency up to something like 25 megahertz increments. It's that fine that it could do it. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So that's how the boost is going to work. They haven't really told us how it's going to work, or rather how much we're going to get out of it, but very very much looking forward to it. So what's also cool about this is they're I forget the name of the thing. It's like extended frequency control or something like that. But with that, if you have a better cooler on your setup, it can also just sort of sense where it's at with that and give itself more overclock. It may or may not be through like a boost multiplier, kind of how sort of Intel does it, but whatever the case is, it's going to be good. It seems that way. That's where I say that's where I'm getting at, where it seems to kind of work similar to the NVIDIA GPU boost and the Polaris boost, because those kind of give themselves extra clock based on the thermal envelope that it's sensing that it is in at any given state. The AMD was touting the fine control that in the sensors that Zen has, that you can change these things in a matter of milliseconds, fine voltage, millivolt control, all this stuff, which is great. And another feature of it that's also great is their little deep learning capability. So it's also going to try to have much more better prefetch and prediction, and sort of learn what programs you use to get a better idea of what you're going to do next, and just kind of serve up everything a little quicker. That's great, you know. That sort of reminds me of like SSD caching or hybrid drive stuff, but a little more deeper into a processor. So yeah, that's all great and all. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. You know, make sure to check out our other videos. If you like this video, click that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.